Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Hot potatoes. I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2021. The year of Gabbie Hanna. The album. Dad. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. AF. 525,600 minutes. 525,600 minutes until the series is over. Until Gabbie Hanna's series is over. And all us T channels can take a rest. Who's she coming for next? We're all waiting on bated breath to see who Gabbie Hanna is going to come for next. Oh my gosh. Anyway, you know what I think, first of all? I think all of us T channels, I don't know that I've ever referred to myself as a T channel, first of all. I call myself a drama channel. I've called myself a gossip channel. I'm sure at some point or another I've said, I know I've said, I don't care what you call me as long as you watch me. But I don't know that I've ever, I may have, as soon as I say this, 15 people will go find screenshots where I call myself a T channel. But I always call myself like a drama channel, you know? But anyway, all of us T channels, sip the tea, Gabbie Hanna. All of us T channels should get together and we should make one collective video talking about all of the discrepancies of what Gabbie Hanna says about T channels collectively together, so that you guys can just go find one thing. Because like every time she gets into a video, she says something else about T channels, drama channels, commentary channels, whatever, and I'm like, girl, that is not exactly how it went. Okay, I'm sure that's how you remember it going, but that is not how I remember it going. And, you know, then I'll talk to somebody else that's in the T channel community, and I'll be like, did you hear what Gabbie Hanna said about this? And they're like, yeah, that's not how it happened at all. And I'm like, exactly. Like, how does she only, oh, no, wait. It's not that she only remembers it's that way. It's that she manipulates the truth to fit her, God forbid we use this word in 2021, but let's use it, the word narrative. So Gabbie Hanna, you know, now she's coming for Joey Graceffa and Daniel Prada for Escape the Night. She made this video, and the video is called Escape the Nightmare. And when I saw this come out, I literally was like, is she really, like, has Gabbie Hanna really, like, run out of anything to talk about that she is coming for Joey Graceffa for her treatment of how she was treated as a star? I'm not one of your fans! Anyway, how she was treated on the set of Escape the Night, I'm like, I think for that I need a limoncello. I also need some lip gloss, because when your lips are dry as mine, from total shock of watching these Gabbie Hanna videos, then it's Luna Beauty time! Another star of Escape the Night. I'm waiting kind of to see what the other people, they're like, we're not commenting on this, okay? What the other people, besides Joey Graceffa, because he has commented on this, we're going to talk about that in just a second, what the other stars of Escape the Night have to say about how Gabbie Hanna was on the set of Escape the Night, of which she does say on there that she was very, very difficult. She uses some other words and stuff. She says, she calls herself the B word, and then she goes, well, I'm not going to say that. But what was interesting about this is, first of all, Gabbie Hanna has now resorted on almost all of these videos to turning off the like to dislike ratio. I'm not really sure why that is. Maybe her like to dislike ratio is being shadow banned on YouTube, and only she can see it, but not everybody else can see it. I don't know why. But she has taken down the like to dislike ratio, so you can't see what people, or how much they're liking it, or how much they're not liking it, things like that. She is leaving the comments up, but like I've talked about in previous videos, so many people are coming out and they're saying that their comments are being deleted. So Gabbie Hanna is allegedly going in and she is removing comments that she doesn't like. There's still a lot of comments in there that are not in her favor. There's a lot of comments that are in her favor as well. But I was like, this is really interesting. Like, of all the things that Gabbie Hanna could talk about in video, this is what she's going to talk about. So she goes in, and of course, there's a lot of, in the beginning of the video, of her talking about just her life, and of course, her coming for drama channels again, and talking about the unfair treatment of drama channels. And before I get into what she talks about with Escape the Night, I do want to address this, because she brings up this whole situation with the brushes that she did this sponsorship for. And she says in there, you know, like, I'm really embarrassed that I did this sponsorship. I should never have done this sponsorship. Okay, great. That's her taking accountability, right? But then she goes in to say, the reason that I did it was that I saw that friends of mine had done it, and I thought, well, if they did it, then it must be like a respectable company to do a sponsorship for. What? No, girl, that's not taking any responsibility. That's blaming it on your friends. And that's part of my problem with whenever I watch one of these videos where Gabbie Hanna attempts to take some accountability, she then is like, yes, but. It's like, yes, I take accountability for this, but blah, 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 after that, right? And I'm like, girl, you can't take, you can't take, she constantly is playing the victim in these videos, okay? And it's like, how many episodes of this are you gonna put out where the entire world has done, I mean, how is it that every person that has ever come in contact with Gabbie Hanna, every person that has ever had a disagreement in her entire life is in the wrong and Gabbie Hanna is in the right? Now, I think most of us, just as human beings, could admit that even just at least one encounter that we have had with somebody that maybe was not favorable to us, we were in the wrong. I think most of us could probably admit that, like, I had a huge part in something that happened. And she even says to some degree in the video, she says something like, she thinks both people have parts in things and whatever. She goes in and, okay, so let's talk about this brush thing, all right? Because I do have some personal experience with that. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Gabbie Hanna did a sponsorship with these brushes, okay? And everybody came for her because it was like, you get the brushes for free, all you have to pay for is shipping and handling, or something like that. It's some nonsense, and the brushes were crap, okay? And everybody was coming for her. That was the initiation of my interactions, which, God forbid, down the road, Gabbie Hanna will probably throw up all of our DMs and say that we were really good friends. We were never really good friends. I had some DMs with her. I spoke to her on the phone for about an hour one night, which seemed about like 10 hours. And it was specifically about these brushes that went into then a lot of other things that Gabbie Hanna wanted to rant about and talk about that were not fair in her life, which I've talked about in videos, so I won't bring it up again. But that whole phone call started because she had reached out to me asking me what to do about these brushes, okay? Now, here's my issue with this, is that Gabbie Hanna is now throwing T channels under the bus and saying that none of us were there for her and we just turned it into thumbnails for videos and we turned around and made videos about it. Girl, that is just, and she's like, and there were all these other people that had done the same sponsorship. That is just not the case, okay? And I can speak for myself and I can speak for one other drama channel because I do know that she reached out to him for the exact same thing because she told me that, okay? So going on her word is what I'm going on. God knows, going on Gabbie Hanna's word these days, you know? But she said to me, and she messaged me and she was like, I don't know what to do about these brushes, this drama, blah, blah, blah. And I was like sitting there and I honest to God at the time thought, brushes, girl? Like, this really isn't that big of drama compared to like all of the other things that could be coming your way, right? And when I talked to her on the phone, I said, Gabbie, just let it go. Something to the effect of like, this drama in a week or two, people will have forgotten about it. It's just not that big of a deal. Or get in a video and address it, and then 2 weeks from now, everybody will have moved on. It's just not that big of a deal. Just let it go, you know? Well, she didn't want to take that advice. She also told me on that phone call that she had reached out to Sebastian Williams, and that Sebastian Williams had given her the exact same advice. So Sebastian Williams and I both told her, either just forget about it and in 2 weeks it won't be drama anymore, which is the case with almost all drama, or take accountability for it and move on with it. She chose not to do either of that. She chose to get in a video and be extremely defensive about it, all right? Flash forward, I don't even know when that original message was that I had with her. Hold on a second, I can tell you when that original message was. My very first message with Gabbie Hanna was referring to the brushes, was on, hold on a second, it was in 2000 and, I can't even see it, I think this is 18. Yeah, this is about 8, and I'm not going to show you it, but it's just like this entirely long direct message about all the things that were going on as a result of these brushes, okay? Which is interesting when I look at the DM that I just looked at, which was on like 12/16 of 2018. And that was when the brushes, so this was what, 2.5 years ago? And then I watched this video that she's calling out Joey Graceffa, and she's showing the DMs. Did you guys see these DMs that she showed? Same kind of DMs that she sent to Trisha Paytas, same kind of DMs that she sent to other people, that she shows the DMs in these videos. And I'm like, you are sending these extremely long DMs to the point where people are like, oh my God, this is too much. And then they're nice enough to have a conversation with you and help you. I know I tried to help her. I know Sebastian Williams probably tried to help her. And oh, all of a sudden, all T channels are bad and you want to throw us under the bus. And this is one of my hugest issues with all of these public figures, right? Is that when we're sitting there trying to help you, or we're getting on video and we're giving you, I know in my videos I try to give a lot of suggestions. I just said the other day, instead of her making this 12-part series where she's literally coming for everybody, why doesn't she make a series talking about all of the things that she's gone through in her life? Personal things, not YouTube things, not things to do where you're pointing the finger at everybody else. You know, she wants to weave it in here and talk about this stuff and that stuff and weave it into the drama because she knows that people are going to go watch for the drama. So people are going to watch to see what she has to say about Joey Graceffa, but she's talking about other stuff in there as well. I think it would have been 10 times cooler for you to go in there and just talk about this thing. And then she even references other video series that she had made, but she decided not to post because of the brush thing, whatever. Which, can I just talk about this for a second? There are so many people that are speculating about this now, and I think this is interesting. I got a comment about it on my video yesterday, and several other people were talking about it as well. And it's this whole thing to do with Gabbie Hanna losing this record deal that she supposedly blamed on Trisha Paytas in the interview with BuzzFeed. She said that BuzzFeed, the author, basically made it out to be that Gabbie Hanna allegedly lost a record deal because of all of this stuff, right? But then I got this I got this comment, and I thought this comment was really, really interesting, so I want to read it. Hold on a second. Someone said, this was Marissa, said, so I watched one of Gabbie's videos, and something made me really think twice about something in her BuzzFeed article. She blamed Trisha Paytas for her losing her record deal. But in one of her videos, she states she chose to back out of the deal because she wanted to be rock, not pop. I don't really believe what Gabbie says at all. And I think that's part of it. It's like, there's so many different stories that are going on here. What do you believe with Gabbie Hanna, okay? And, I mean, is she going to make a video about the whole record series and all that kind of stuff? Whatever. All I know is this, okay? I tried to help the gal out when it came to these brushes. She didn't listen to me. She didn't listen to Sebastian Williams, and God knows how many other drama channels she reached out to. I do know that she's reached out to other drama channels in the past and talked to them, excuse me, for help and for other things. I know that she's talked to Dustin Dailey. I know that she talked to myself and told me so many things about so many other YouTubers, okay? Things that I haven't even mentioned yet. That it's like, now you're going to throw us under the bus, girl? Like, seriously? Like, seriously, okay? You know, it's like, and people don't really want to know the truth. They don't really want to know what's going on. And, you know, she's doing this, like, cover-up and all this kind of stuff of how things are going on. It's like she continues to come over and over and over again. And I think this is a really important part, right? She continues to come for, and I'm not defending, like, everybody and every specific thing that happens that's on them, but she continues to want to come for Dustin Dailey over a period of time that Dustin Dailey had lost his sister. And Gabbie knows that. She knows that, but she doesn't put that part of the truth out there. You know, she doesn't put those tweets out there, right? I mean, that was a very sensitive time, but she would use that as fodder for her videos to get people to feel bad for her, but people don't really want to know the whole truth. She just wants to paint this picture that all drama channels are bad. Well, girl, how bad were we when you were coming to us asking us for help? When you were coming to me, when you were coming to Dustin Dailey, when you were coming to Sebastian Williams? Who else did you come for help, right? Why are you having conversations with drama channels in your DMs if you don't think of us in some kind of manner in a positive way? You know, I'm very confused about it. You know, I don't understand it. And now we're the worst thing in the entire world. So I don't know, maybe manage your expectations, Gabbie. That's all I have to say about that. So I watched this 40-minute video where she's talking about Joey Graceffa and all this kind of stuff, and she's talking about the escape the night thing, and quite frankly, between you and I, of having had friends of mine that were professional actors and actresses that have been on sets, that have been on modeling sets and things like that. I have lots of friends of mine that have been in the modeling industry, you know, on and on and on. Basically, what she explained was what you get when you're a professional actor or actress or a professional model, okay? There's a lot of sitting around. There's a lot of wearing uncomfortable costumes. There's a lot of wearing uncomfortable clothing that you wouldn't normally pick out, right? Because you are given the opportunity to be on this situation, right? Not to mention that she did it the first time, then she did it the second time, even though she said she didn't want to do it, she continued to do it. Right, all right, okay. And now she's saying she wishes she hadn't done that and all this kind of stuff, and she goes in there and talks about the food and the snack area and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know, I just didn't feel like it made her look any better than it made anybody else look any worse. That was the first thing. The second thing is, she constantly is throwing up these conversations that they have back and forth, and it's like, somebody, whoever she's talking about for that video, will have like 2 sentences, and she has like 4 paragraphs. And I'm like, who is taking the time to read, in their busy schedule, taking the time to read, not just on the video that she's posting where she flashes it up for 2 seconds, but this long thing. And even in there, she even says, like, I reached out to Joey Graceffa or Daniel Prado, who was his ex or whoever, and said, I know I'm being difficult and I know this, but... And she's like, don't you think both people have a part in something? Yeah, I do believe that both people have a part in something. But, you know, maybe your part is that you're just being this really difficult actress that they don't know what to do with anymore. And then she turned the whole thing into this, and then they were going to kill me off of the show. Isn't that kind of how the show works anyway? Like, don't people die on Escape the Night? I mean, I kind of thought that was the premise for the show. Am I wrong? Like, is she bitter that she got killed off? Oh, and they didn't give her, like, the food that she wanted or something? I don't know. And then I also thought, like, I mean... For those of us that back in the day took our work to lunch or lunch to work with us, if you're that concerned with the food that you're getting, why not take it with you if you didn't think that you were going to? I don't know. I just thought it was kind of like, I mean, people call us that we're reaching for stuff all the time. I'm like, she literally made a 40-minute video, which was only like 15 minutes of it, about Joey and Daniel, talking basically about how she was super difficult, but then she blamed her being difficult on Joey and Daniel. I was so confused. I'm like, girl, I don't understand. So you're admitting that you're difficult. You're saying that you're difficult, but you're blaming that on Joey and Daniel, who gave you the opportunity to come back a second time, even though you hated the first time that you were on the show. Like, I'm confused about this. I don't really understand it. And apparently Joey Graceffa is very confused about this too, because Joey Graceffa tweeted out, let me get to this. He tweeted out, LMAO, always playing the victim, literally right after the video went up, okay? And then he tweeted out, I've been very silent about how truly awful she was on set, but if this is the game she wants to play, let's play, B. Okay, basically like, hey, you want to talk about how difficult you really were? And this is what's so interesting. She plays these clips in the video, okay? I mean, like, I'm sitting there and I'm watching this and I'm like, Gabbie, what are you I'm confused as to what you're trying to prove. She shows in a video, okay, Daniel Prada, and I've seen that video. I'd watched a video a long time ago of his, he's doing it like a Q&A, like I think it's like assumptions about him or something, and he gets very honest in the video. It's actually a really well done video. And he says in there, talking about like difficult people and whatever, he's talking about Gabbie Hanna. She shows that clip. Then she shows a clip from Joey Graceffa talking about it in not one but 2 interviews, okay? And then something about, I think it was Trisha Paytas on Shane Dawson's podcast talking about voicemail messages that have been, I'm assuming that's what it was about. I'm a little confused about this, right? So she's showing how multiple people have talked about how difficult she was to work with. You just proved that in several different interviews, people came out publicly and talked. They didn't want to keep it private because obviously it was such a horrendous experience, talked about how difficult you were to work with. Not to mention, those clips have been out for a long time, Gabbie. It's not like those have been hidden secrets. I mean, Daniel's video has been up for 3 or 4 months now. I know I watched that video a long time ago. So, and you filmed this in March. So, I mean, it's not like those were people couldn't go find those clips. And then she went in and she talked about how hurtful it was for her that she, you know, that people were talking about her behind her back and whatever. Girl! Are you forgetting the hour-long conversation that you had with me? Oh, and the hour-long conversation that you had with Dustin Daly, and I'm sure other drama channels that you now have no problem throwing under the bus because we're the devil's spawn, where you literally just talked nonstop about everybody in the world that you have covered up for since, okay? I mean, you want me to start throwing out some names? You talked about Trisha Paytas. You talked about Shane Dawson. You talked about Andrew, his videographer at that time. You talked about Sebastian Williams. You talked about other drama. Girl, you talked about a lot of other people. Welcome to the industry of YouTube. You even said that on there. This is why I don't hang out with anybody. Exactly, girl. That's why I always say I don't want to pull back the veil of YouTube, because all these people talk about each other and consumed with themselves. Why is this a surprise to you? As somebody that has gone to industry parties for years, as somebody that has hung out with industry people for years, hell, I sit in a house, my dishwasher's going in the kitchen, my husband's upstairs, he just finished making a table for our entryway, okay? I'm not part of the industry, obviously. I'm just some dude with a camera that sits in Indiana. You're the one ate up with all this crap, and then you are surprised that people talk about each other behind their backs? Girl, this is the first, I just cannot believe that Gabbie Hanna, this is the first time in all of these years where she is saying that is surprised that people are talking, that she really cared about, are talking behind her, behind their back. You did it. You did it to other people that you cared about. And then she goes on to say, and this is, I mean, it's sad if it's the truth. She's like, I never had any friends, you know, like in my growing up or whatever. And I'm like, I have watched enough Gabbie Hanna videos now. By the way, her like video called My Most Embarrassing Secrets, where she talks about going to college parties with her friends and challenging friends to dance battles and rap battles. But she didn't have any friends. I'm like, I'm very confused about what, I don't know what you're feeding out here, you know? And it's like, I think this is the thing that Gabbie Hanna doesn't understand, okay? If Gabbie Hanna got in a video and she really just talked about her truth and her experiences and her life and what that was like and shared stories of that, which is what her fans have loved for so long anyway, people would sit there and watch. People would really sit there and be like into what's going on. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think this series, honest to God, I think it's going to be, and I'm not wishing this on anybody, I hope for Gabbie, because I always hope the best for people, I hope that Gabbie gets the help that she needs and she feels herself getting back on top, because this is the thing. I think this series is going to be the series that's going to be, it's going to really hurt her career. Because if she does not come out, I mean, I think people are waiting for this Jessie Smiles video. If she doesn't address it now after she put it in her preview, people are going to question that, even though Jessie asked her and begged her not to. So she's going to have to come on video and say, because Jessie asked me to, I'm not going to address it in a video. 1. 2, she's going to come on video and she's going to apologize to Jessie. And not say a bunch of buts after that, because everything after but is crap, okay? But just own it and take responsibility for her part in there. Or 3, she's going to come out and she's going to do a video about Jessie Smiles and their past interactions, and people are not going to have it. I'm telling you right now, okay? Like, I mean, I think the Joey Graceffa fans are going to come for Gabbie Hanna on this. I really do. And I don't think she has really any idea. And she's like, I don't really care at this time. I want my truth out there. My battery died because I just got back from vlogging. So anyway, I had forgotten that I needed to change my battery. But anyway, I don't think that this is going to be great for Gabbie in the long run. And I understand that she just wants her side heard. You know, I get that. I have felt that at many points in my life where I just wanted my side heard. It didn't matter at what expense. But like, when you look at these videos, you have to remember, they're highly edited videos where she's literally Googling stuff and she's inserting it and she's doing all this kind of stuff and she's put on there. Instead of sharing your experience of going through these things and how hard these things have been for you, which would have been a phenomenal series. Can you imagine that? If Gabbie Hanna had talked about all the things that she deals with personally, not the people that had done her wrong. I mean, we could all do a video series talking about all the people that screwed us over in our lives, you know? What good does it do us at the end of the day? You know what I mean? In recovery, we call those resentments. And you know, unfulfilled expectations are resentments. It's when somebody acted in a way that you didn't think that they should have acted and you thought that they should have felt different. Manage your expectations, like I said again. I mean, not have really high expectations for people. People are going to do us wrong all the time. For all of us to get in video series and talk about all the people that had wronged us, I don't know. And if, you know, if Gabbie really cares about her fans and her stans and her followers so much the way that she thinks she does, I think she really missed an opportunity here that she could have gone in and really talked about this stuff, this really important stuff that she's kind of feeding in through these videos. You know, I think that would have been a series that, I mean, honest to God, I would have sat here and I would have been like, I applaud that. I applaud that vulnerability. I applaud that humanness of you to really want to connect and help at least just one person out there. Not throw in a bunch of drama because you need your side told, which you've already told 5,000 times, or because you know that drama is going to drive views. So don't accuse drama channels ever again of doing commentary with your name in it or whatever. I was looking at a video that I had done. I was trying to go and back and find this brush video because I did some video to do with Gabbie Hanna and a sponsorship. I don't believe it was the brush one, but I went back and my videos on Gabbie Hanna from like in the past got 9,000 views, 12,000 views. I mean, they don't pull views. She wants to talk about who is pulling millions of views on a Gabbie Hanna video, okay? Not even Gabbie Hanna these days. So that's just not the truth. But when you want to put all this drama in a video, I mean, ultimately, you're kind of a drama channel, aren't you? So when you have all these issues with T channels, you're talking about your own drama. Are we not allowed to comment on it? It's an opinion. And then she says, well, if you have hateful opinions, no, girl, it's just an opinion. And honestly, it's not that deep. And if you don't want people talking about it, don't make a 13.596 series about it where people are obviously going to have commentary on it. I don't think this is the end of Joey Graceffa talking about it. I just don't. So then Trisha Paytas, of course, Trisha chimes in, why? This is interesting. Because in Gabbie's video, Gabbie, in referencing these voicemails that have been heard and other things, Gabbie exclusively uses clips, nobody else, just Trisha talking about this. And I'm like, okay, so you're really trying to like start this fire again, okay? You're really trying to get Trisha turned up about this so Trisha will talk about you. Well, what's the reason for that? Because if Trisha is talking about Gabbie Hanna, that's going to get people to go watch Gabbie Hanna's video, and that's going to be more people talking about Gabbie Hanna. And that's what this is about, is that Gabbie, I guess, needs tons of people to watch this video for validation, and I don't know. I don't know what her end game is on there. And it kind of ultimately makes me kind of sad, you know? But Gabbie used all of these Trisha Paytas clips in the video. I was literally like, you can't watch this video and not be like, this is exclusively saying something to Trisha Paytas, period, right? So Trisha Paytas, of course, had something to say about all this. Trisha comes out, and Trisha said, literally no one, where are my reading glasses? Literally, no one has a problem with Joey Graceffa. He literally is the only YouTuber who for real is so kind. Who for real never even gossips one-on-one. The only YouTuber who is non-confrontational. If you have a problem with Joey, you are the problem, is what Trisha said. And then they went on to say, if you turn off dislikes, because Gabbie Hanna has turned off all the dislikes and likes ratio. If you turn off dislikes, you are a coward. It's the internet. If you're going to post and be a B, take all the L's. She want to be so bad, learn how to be a villain without playing the victim. And then Trisha goes on to say, I personally love being ratioed. I feel so Gen Z, and it's been a while since I've been a trash can. It feels oddly comforting down here because people refer to Trisha as trash can. At least I'm a nice trash can. Imagine being a nasty, delusional one. And then goes on to apologize to Brooke Hogan, saying when I was 15 I used to laugh at her tan, when in reality I was just jealous of how skinny her stomach was and how much of a chunk-a-lunk I was. And then Trisha also goes on to say, I also apologize to String Cheese. I don't like you in your raw natural form, but I effing love dousing you in peanut oil grease to perfection. Which I don't think my husband would be very happy with that, because my husband's favorite food of life is string cheese. So anyway, it's too much. It's too much. And it makes, but I will say this, I mean, she's getting what she wants, because it does make you wonder what's coming next in the next video. You know, what's Gabbie going to talk about next in the next video? Who's she going to talk about next in the next video? I don't know. Let me know what you think about all of that in the comment sections. It's a lot. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.